Well, the next thing we want to talk about is 2016 branding trends. And JT, I'm glad you're here because I want to just kind of cover all of this with you. But the first one is, focusing on the overall experience, looking at getting personal, and let's do here for brand engagement and brand awareness. All right. So this is a client of ours, TrainingMass.com. And JT, you art directed this personally, right? You want to speak about the client themselves, or the site, about the brand?
Yeah, we did the site was that a couple months ago. It's a pretty recent project, but a very fun one to work on. The client was great. I think he had a lot of good ideas. We had a lot of good ideas. Really good kind of brainstorming sessions, and the whole project went really well. We were able to do a lot of stuff, for this one to kind of try new things. But very successful project, overall.
Well, and Scott just got through talking about very important marketing trends for 2016, and absolutely it's important that people do find you. We're not disputing this, but I think Scott would agree, once they do find you, they have to interact with you, right? It's not just about, hey, this is my brand, I want people to know that I'm here. And what we see is a lot of older stores that have focused just on awareness to make sure that people know I have this product, that my store is here for you. But what they're seeing is their competition, their scrappy, sometimes smaller competition, is eating their lunch when they're creating stores that have this level of interaction. And so Training Mass knows this. They want people to find them, as Scott just talked about, but also interact with them. So Tara, let's look at some examples of how that happens. What are we seeing here?
These are screenshots from their Instagram. They have a lot. If you go to their Instagram, they're an example of a site that has a lot of clients that send in shots of them using their product. I think it's kind of like a thing to look for when you go to the gym and things like that. So
right. And I'm not sure if you can read this on your screen, but if you see some of the content that these users actually put about interacting with the product, it's stellar. I mean, you can't beat this. When the customers themselves are bragging on your product, they're sharing this information, like she just said, on Instagram or Facebook, and they're super enthusiastic, not just about the product. Hear me on this. It's not just about the product. It's the brand that sells the product, right? It's
exactly.
You, it's the personality, it's the tribe, so to speak, that people want to join. Your brand, if it's just focused on here's the product, here's where we're at, you can find us here, here's our shipping process, whatever, it just gets boring in comparison to the brands that are really engaging customers, that are engaging back with the brand. It's infectious, and this is absolutely something that we're seeing just rule the roost in 2016 going forward. You agree, JT?
Yeah, I do. I mean, yeah, just the burst of social media and just getting more and more people and customers and stuff involved on that is really, we've seen a lot of benefits to the stores doing that.
So the big takeaway here is, if you've got a brand, no matter where your traffic levels are at, if they're coming here, no matter where your sales levels are at, focus on areas where you can interact more effectively with your customers and encourage them to interact with you as well as other potential customers. The next point is authenticity is greater than exaggeration. What do I mean by that? Well, there's a lot of stores, JT, that say we're the best at this. We have the best customer service, the best selection, And what I'm seeing more and more, what you and I are seeing, we've been talking about this, is that customers are almost immune to this kind of braggadocio. And if you do brag, you better back it up. You better be able to have those brand statements back themselves up with truth. And we're going to look at an example here of how one of our merchants are doing that. But we encourage you to place brand statements that truly represent your company's persona and strengths. So make a statement, make a promise, but more importantly, make a statement and promise that you can back up. What are you seeing, Terry? You shop all the time. You see a lot of stores out there, they're saying this or that. Does that resonate with you as a customer?
Oh, definitely. And as you see millennials come up too, and start becoming of age of shopping and things like that and running households, authenticity is definitely a major focus, more than boastfulness and things like that. You definitely see them seeing right through whether or not you're
authenticity is huge. I've said this at some live events, but one of my favorite quotes about branding and authenticity is from Shaheen Siddiqui. He was the former CEO of Quicksilver, and he said this. He said, authenticity is huge, and you can't buy it. You have to earn it.
Yes.
Right? I mean, you have to be what you're trying to represent. And I encounter so many merchants that really don't like their product. They don't even like e-commerce. It's just a way to make money, you know, but they don't really have a love for the product, a passion for the product, for the customers. And the ones that do are just whooping and whomping because they transmit that passion. They transmit the love for their products and their customers onto the site in effective ways. And you also have to make a visual and written, your visual and written content has to adhere to these statements, all right? So if you make that statement, you got to back it up with the imagery, with the branded imagery, as well as the written content. I think a lot of people just kind of look past content because it's not visual, the written content, I should say, because it's not visual. But you can brand the heck out of that. You know, I'm thinking of, we'll talk about this more in a second with Ranger Up, but if you look at their descriptions, rangerup.com, they have spent a lot of time infusing their personality into the product. They're not just saying, yes, this black shirt is available in the following sizes, da, da, da. They're talking about the messaging of that shirt and how that relates to you as a consumer. Now, the customer, the EY client that I want to talk about here is the Builder Depot. This is their site. They just went live with their new design here recently, the homepage. What I want to zero in on is how they're emphasizing their team. I mean, this is the authenticity. And I encounter a lot of merchants that they don't want to do this, you know, for privacy reasons or whatever, or they think it's more about ego. I don't want to put my picture on the website. It's not about me. But of course it's not about you. Of course it's about the products. But people want to see that there are real people behind this brand, Tara. I mean, I encounter a lot of merchants that they say this or that about their company. We're the best in customer service. We've got great people, whatever. But from a visual narrative standpoint, it's not being communicated on the website.
Picture speak.
Yeah, picture speak. And so this is a good example of saying, look, these are the people that are shipping your product. These are the people you talk to when you call in to Builder Depot, and you can relate to these real people, and they're not orange and blue. Just graphic change. I don't know if you knew that. So they don't quit. It's not makeup or whatever. One of the things I wanted to point out here, and it's not branded in a real exciting manner, but one of the reasons why I want to include this, what we do, is they make claims about having a great selection on their site, a huge selection, but amazing prices. I didn't have the room to include all of that. Check out thebuilderdepot.com, not Builder Depot, thebuilderdepot.com. Check it out for yourself. And on their About page, they're saying, this is how we do it. All right, this is our special sauce. We got great pictures of the product. Our sourcing is unbelievable. Samples that are available to you, our shipping's first rate, and so is our service. So this is what I'm talking about when they make claims that they can back up, and buddy, they do. They've got a very successful business, but they're not shy about making these statements. If we have time with the site reviews, JT, I want to kind of reference this point right here about how more stores can do this and be really upfront about those brand promises. Next thing I want to talk about is emotion. That needs to trump reason, okay? And the first point is that customers are looking for brands that they can connect with on an emotional level. You know, you got to have content, but sometimes we as merchants, as business owners, I'm not a merchant, I'm a business owner, but we can think so much about the numbers, about the bottom line, and that rational content just doesn't have that visceral connection with the customer that we're talking about here. So the emotional content does, and let's look at an example of how this works. Now, we mentioned them earlier, and this is Ranger Up. Now, Ranger Up, I don't know if you knew this, they have their own movie coming out. We're in the middle of designing and programming their new website. They have a landing page there, but they have shot a big budget movie called Range 15 in partnership with another merchant called Article 15. This thing has galvanized their customer base. Their customer base is so excited about what's happening. And you know, even before this big budget movie, you know, they've done so much guerrilla marketing with the videos that they've shot. If you don't follow them on Instagram, you should. It's not safe for work, all right? But there's a lot. We've put our most tame content, right, Tara?
Yes.
On this, but it's hilarious. You know, if that's kind of where your sense of humor lies. But even if it doesn't, they don't care. They don't care if you're offended by what they put out there, because they are targeting a very specific demographic of veterans, of military enthusiasts, of people that just love America and don't, really get their feelings hurt too easily. And that's their demographic, and they put it out there for people to see. So if you want to see a merchant that's really just knocking it down when it comes to putting emotional content, check out Ranger Up in the new Range 15 marketing that they're doing on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, of course their sites, and I think you'll learn a few tricks on there. I want to encourage you to do that. The next thing I want to compare is experience and expertise versus what I'm calling the here's our stuff attitude. Do we not see this all the time with merchants that just don't, like I said, they're not excited? They have the experience, they have the expertise, but the narrative that they're displaying on their site is effectively, here's our stuff. Hope you find something you're interested in. And Terry, you see that a lot on the stores you shop, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's the difference between really marketing your product and, like you said, just being a superstore, so to speak, of product.
That's right. You have to get past that. And customers want to hear what you think. They want to know what your expertise is. They want to know the opinions on the products that they're interested in. And this is kind of a duh statement for anybody that has reviews, but we encounter merchants all the time that still need convincing on product reviews. I mean, it's a pretty essential resource for a lot of stores, and obviously, some stores maybe not the best fit for reviews. I would certainly see that. But in general, product reviews and just the human aspect in general are critical to making informed purchases. Now, what I want to show you here is one of our best clients, Shop Wild Things, and you actually see a picture of Katie. She's the vice president of Shop Wild Things. She's actually here in studio a couple of weeks ago. We're planning her 2016 out in person. But on this site, on this page rather, you see a kind of an intro to Katie as the host. And if you click on any of these shots of these thumbnails, that leads to a video that shows how their expertise will help you in whatever it is, hanging beaded curtains or how to decorate the beaded curtains rod using diamond wraps and diamond stickers. JT, you were just asking me about that. How in the world do you, well, there you go. That's the video you can watch, all right?
Oh, no. Give me the link.
How to add density and strands to beaded curtains. And, if that's your question, if that's the thing hanging you up, no pun intended, to buy this product, then you see this video to help answer the question. The cool thing about this too is it leads right into merchandising the products themselves. So I love that. Some other thumbnails here with ideas and photos. If you don't know what to do, they're telling you here's some things you can do. Here's some inspiration on how other customers have used our products. There's a blog there. So the last thing, this is the last one, right, Terry?
Yeah.
The last one I'll talk about is branded packaging versus what I call the throw it in a box attitude, right? You don't just throw your stuff in a box, okay? Listen, you're putting so much emphasis on a branded experience, making people excited about your store and interact with them. But once the box actually gets to the household of the customer that bought from you, what is the experience, okay? The experience doesn't just end online. It truly ends, or continues, I should say, once people hold the box, once they open the box. Now, here's an example of something I ordered for Henry. Henry's my son. He loves the Hulk. Well, he kind of shifts in superheroes, like right now he's
Where did he get that from?
I have no idea. It's two references to superheroes. I have no idea on this webinar. But big time in the Hulk. So I ordered this thing. Now, this hero box is kind of a surprise grab bag. I didn't know what he was getting, right? I just paid $60 or whatever it is, and they ship me a shirt and different things. But notice how on the box they've got the hero box label. That's easy, super easy to do. Just print out a big sticker. And if you're not printing on the box itself, which is on the left, but invest in branding on your boxes, all right? How does your box compare to the Amazon box that is right next to it, all right? Amazon's not going to just ship something typically in just a bland box. They're going to have some kind of Amazon branding on there. Now, I will knock Amazon for some of the delivery standards that I've seen, okay? They have done some weird stuff, but you see the point about branding with these boxes, all right?